Hey again. All right, I'm back, and I swear this is the last version of Little Red Riding Hood I'm going to read, but it's too priceless to pass up, and it's beautiful, and I actually have nothing snarky to say about it at all, mostly because it's written by James Thurber. It goes like this: Little Girl and the Wolf by James Thurber. One afternoon, a big wolf waited in a dark forest for a little girl to come along carrying a basket of food for her grandmother. Finally, a little girl did come along, and she was carrying a basket of food. "Are you carrying that basket to your grandmother?" asked the wolf. The little girl said that yes, she was. So the wolf asked her where her grandmother lived, and the little girl told him, and he disappeared into the wood. When the little girl opened the door of her grandmother's house, she saw that there was somebody in the bed with a nightcap and nightgown on. She had approached no nearer than 25 feet from the bed when she saw that it was not her grandmother but the wolf, for even in a nightcap, a wolf does not look any more like your grandmother than the Metro-Goldwyn lion looks like Calvin Coolidge. So the little girl took an automatic out of her basket and shot the wolf dead. Moral? It is not so easy to fool little girls nowadays as it used to be. I have absolutely nothing snarky to say. It said everything for me. I mean, clearly, I had problems with the other versions because this is suspension of belief, and the pads of needles and pins were just too much for me to handle. But thinking about it, I think we established at one point, Little Red Riding Hood is a giant sex metaphor. And not just any sex metaphor, it's a metaphor for premarital sex. And, sex out of wedlock, ooh, bad by the church, blah, blah, blah. So, basically, if you look at the fairy tale and you simply, Red Riding Hood is clearly wearing a red cloak, which can stand for the hymen, blood of spilled virginity, that kind of thing. And she's basically a pretty young girl about to go through puberty. She's reaching her sexual maturity, blah, blah, blah. So the wolf, we can assume, represents the sexual desire, or maybe a good-looking dude she wants to screw. Or the onset of puberty, or premarital sex, or just basically every bad kind of sex, or bad sex thing that they didn't want little girls doing, the wolf represented. So when Little Red gets eaten by the wolf, it's a metaphor for her having sex out of wedlock, and how that basically will end up killing you. So telling this to little girls and saying, don't let wolves into your chambers is, back in the day, it was just, don't have sex with people, okay? So that was what that was for. But then there are variations of Little Red, and I didn't read any of these, where a huntsman or a woodcutter or just, another man comes along and cuts Little Red out of the wolf's stomach, or kills the wolf before it can eat Little Red. Well, what's interesting is that a man is saving a girl from premarital sex, which we can probably interpret as the huntsman stands for a marital partner or a husband. So the husband comes along, saves the girl by marrying her, so she can have all the sex she wants and all the babies she wants, but it's not bad because she's married. So, but it's kind of weird because the wolf is a man and the huntsman is a man, and one of them is bad and one of them is good. So there's some weird duality going on there that clearly, the metaphor isn't as clean as it could be, I guess. Especially with Perrault's moral, which is basically don't let wolves into your bed, and tame wolves are bad, where wolf meant man, but then man saved her. So, there's some messy metaphors in there. What's funny is that there are a couple of versions of the story, I read one of them, where Red actually saves herself at the end, which is kind of cool to think about it. She was able to play with the wolf and then get away, which I want to interpret it, I guess, as, she got away with doing what she wanted outside the confines of societal expectation, which probably isn't what the original author meant. It was probably just she didn't have sex with him and got away, whatever. But then there are versions, and these are probably my favorite, where grandma saves the day. There's one version, I forget who wrote it, but the grandmother, cooks some sausages and then, lures the wolf off the roof, who he falls to his death and drowns in a puddle of sausage fat. And grandma can be seen as a representative of mature womanhood, and she's she knows better. And so she's able to fend off the lecherous wolf sort of thing, while Red watches and learns from her. So those are different little things. I think my favorites, though, are the ones where Red or grandma saves the day, because I'm kind of tired of, man comes to the rescue. Not that that's like bad, because girls can come to the rescue and that's not bad, so you know, no gender coming to the rescue is necessarily a bad thing, but it is atypical for the time period, I think, so that's cool. So that's all I wanted to say about Little Red Riding Hood, because in my other videos I didn't say anything actually critical or thought-y at all, so I just thought I'd add my 2 cents after reading some marvelous Thurber. Okay, see ya.